Day 48. So today's been a kind of standard good day on the whole. It's been maybe about like a +2, +3. Derby won, which meant they secured their place in the playoffs, which was nice. And there's been some nice chill out family time. And having thought about the last 7 weeks or so and the different experiences I've had with different people where, because I've been very open about my life, I get invited into their life in a more personal way than I ever have done before, and they start to share their ways of living with me. And I was intending to talk about how every single person that I've come into contact with has ended up almost trying to apologise for the weirdness of their life once they've kind of shared it with me, because they're almost apologetic about it. So there'll be things like, oh, you know, we're just very boring people, really, we just stay around and do this and that and the other. Or they'll say, absolute madness in our house, and try to explain that they're not like a normal family. And I haven't met a single family that I've gone to and has presented themselves as what you would think from the outside as a normal family. And everybody spends so much time trying to build this exterior that looks brilliant to share with the outside world, and then struggle with the things that they have that go wrong, which then means they don't get any help on it, because there'll be other people that have gone through similar things that don't help you because they don't know that you're going through it and need the help. And that has been the case for literally 100% of the people that I've come into contact with since starting this vlog 7 weeks ago. And to a degree that's been helpful for me, because it's normalised my feelings when I start to drop, and it makes me less ashamed of the things that I have to deal with, and allows me to accept it as just a part of being alive, and actually not something that I necessarily want to change. It's something that is part of my life and part of who I am, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's mostly down to it feeling more normalised now in my head. I mean, I've been contacted by kids I used to teach who are just starting out in life and are younger than me, and I've spoken to people in their 60s, 70s, 80s that have talked about their experiences of struggling and their daily struggles. And it's both uplifting to feel like a part of somebody's life, and it's also reaffirming to know that I'm not just rubbish at being a human and rubbish at being alive. I'm just dealing with life the same way that everybody else has to. I'm so used to hearing phrases like, oh, I really wish I could be that confident, I really wish I could talk about things, I really wish I could do this, I really wish I could do that. And the very blunt answer to that a lot of the time is, well, you're the only person that's stopping you from actually achieving that thing. But the way that my brain's wired kind of asks, well, why is that? Why are there so many people that don't feel comfortable to go out and explore and be at risk? And today at the Derby game, something happened that kind of triggered an idea in my head about why. And I've always been proud to be a Derby fan. I mean, 99% of the time, they are brilliant fans. The club is founded on really strong family values, and there's just kind of a heart and a warmth to it that's always been well supported. But there was a point in today's football match where Barnsley looked as though they were going to be relegated. They ultimately did get relegated. And the main objective for Derby at the start of the day was to secure their place in the playoffs, which they've done. And the kind of cheering and chanting from an area of the crowd turned from joyful celebration about the fact that we'd secured our place in the playoffs into a kind of negative attack on, oh, you're getting relegated, ha ha ha, sort of thing. And we do live in a society where it is acceptable to treat people in a way that is going to negatively affect them, whether that's now online where you get abusive troll messages or just general negativity. I don't understand why it's a human response to try and bring somebody else down. Surely, particularly in that moment today, I think is why it annoyed me so much, we had reason to be positive and celebrate, and we're up on things while they were down on things, and instead of celebrating, it turned into a, wow, I'm going to knock you down even further. And we are absolutely surrounded by that judgment all the time, to the point I think people end up so scared of stepping out and being judged that they don't step out and do anything. They just end up trapped in their little bubble. And we end up then with these two lives of the person that I actually am and the person that I then put on show to the rest of the world. And because home life isn't home life now as if it would have been 20 years ago, everyone can be in contact at any one point. That external character that people put on has got to be on call 24/7, and leading two lives simultaneously is horrendously difficult. And so ultimately, I suppose it's no surprise that I know so many people that have mental health issues or difficult things they just don't talk about. Because the way in which we're expected to live our lives currently is extremely demanding and unforgiving. And the whole root of that is caused by us being quick to judge and bring people down, and therefore them being afraid to step out away from the concept of normality. When the fact of the matter is, nobody at all fits the exact staple of this is normal. Everybody's weird, everybody's had to deal with stuff that shaped the way that they've become, and that's never gonna end up as the idea of a perfect, normal human being. Of course it's not. And so we bury our difficulties and we carry them, and they build up. And no two people are the same, everybody's different. But that doesn't mean that we can't and shouldn't learn from one another, and ultimately just try to support each other. Which has been one of the nice things about this, because I've had so much support from all sorts of different people. So thank you for being part of this so far, and share, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.